many sides to a story? Is there anything like good or bad? Do we have advantages or disadvantages? Is there a right or wrong? This is Crossfire on SRTV.
A very good evening to you all. My name is Daddy Chris, and this is the African Renaissance Television. Today, I am very slow. I didn't want to do the show alone. I hope my guests come in, because that's why it's a difficult topic. It's difficult in the sense that I always bring in my opinion when I talk about on any show. But today, I'd rather let the parties speak for themselves. In the next 1 month or so, we are going to be looking together. We're going to be addressing delicate issues as it concerns us, especially the Urhobos, the Itsekiris, and the Ijaws. It's a topic I'd rather not talk about, but it has to be addressed at some point. The truth is, there are too many sides to this story that children are now asking what is really going on. Before I take my own side, and I know many people expect me to take a particular side, I will try not to because of this show. So I'll try and sit on the fence. But there are some questions that I want to ask. And for the purpose of this show today, I did not even give room for people to phone in, because I don't think I will be strong enough to answer your questions. How can there be peace in Warri? Why is there no peace in Warri? What are we really fighting about? If we can identify all this, then maybe we're getting somewhere. Is this crisis, are there more to this than we can see? Is it the Urhobo man or the Itsekiri man and the Ijaw, or other people are interested in this issue? A lot needs to be answered today. Like I said, in the coming days, we'll do what we can to see what we can do. There's already a crisis. I can hear something on the platform already. Said the Itsekiri will not negotiate an inch of their land with anybody. No going back. That's a big one. And those are the kind of comments that can that can cause the chaos today. You see, I've been trying. And like I said, I don't want to address this issue. But I want to address one. I want to say something before I start the show. When I see what is happening among the Palestinians and the Israelis, the thing that really disappoints me is these are said to be children of Abraham. They're killing themselves daily. And this crisis is still going on because people are taking sides. Maybe if nobody is supporting Israel and nobody is supporting the Palestinians, this crisis would have ended. Is that the case here? What are we fighting about? It's a question that needs to be answered. I don't have the answers to all, but I will try and put certain things in perspective. From what I have seen, I grew up in the area. I am from the area. I cannot point a family of Urhobo extraction that does not have a Itsekiri in it. The Itsekiri cannot say to me today that I'm a Itsekiri man. I don't have anything related to Urhobos. The same thing happens to the Ijaws, and then the Ijaws and the Itsekiri. The intermarriage, the cultural, the things that actually separate us are so small compared to the things that unite us. I'm not here to really preach unity, but I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. Let me say one thing. This is why it concerns me. The capital city of Delta State is where? The capital city of Delta State is in Anioma. And I want to be blunt. The capital city of Delta State is in Asaba. Asaba is not in Delta State. In fact, they are not even saying they are Deltans. It's just for political convenience. They said, okay, they are part of Delta State. And they are actually still fighting to have a Numa State. We've had a series of issues now. When we have the young man, the young guy now, Ned, who is representing them in the Senate, fighting for a Numa State. Sometimes I'm wondering if the Urhobo senators and the just, I don't know who is the other senator there, or whether it's Itsekiri, if they will ever come together and say, it is time for us to have a state. Now let's put this in perspective. We contribute. We are the major contributor to the Nigerian wealth. Nigeria is rich, Nigeria is rich. The money is coming from our area. I want you to clap yourself as you kill yourself today. The money Nigeria is fighting for is coming from our area. The oil we're talking about today is coming from us. Now, why this is so painful is, if you look at the whole country, it has been divided into regions. Different regions. We have, in fact, when Nigeria was created, they cut us into Midwest. The Midwest is what has been divided into only two. Meanwhile, there were only 4 regions, so 4 regions was Nigeria, 4. From the 4 regions, the other 3 regions have become 30 states, or 33 states, or 34. This then Midwest has been divided into 2 states. Clap for yourself. Why you kill yourself? The 2 states, of course, Benin have their own. The Benin people will not even let the other people go too. I know they want to be under Oba, don't break my region. Let's stop it. And now the Urhobo man and the Ijaw man and the Itsekiri man who are left here, they're killing one another. We're killing one another. Who is benefiting? What I love this is this. The funniest thing is, for the Urhobo man, let me tell you this. You are 5th in population. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have a state. The Itsekiri man must have contributed to this, because they said they are scared of you. If we join with them, that we will oppress them. Is that enough reason to remain slaves, Itsekiri? Because what it is now, we are slaves. We cannot even benefit from what belongs to us. There's no boundary between the Urhobo and the Itsekiri. I don't know about that. Anybody that knows about it can come and prove it. When you're going to prove a boundary inside Warri, what are you talking? Because they say language, worry. No, and I want to put something in perspective here. Maybe this is my learning. This is my message. And this is what I found out. It may be wrong. That I want to make it clear here. That in 1890, before independence, the British, they recognized the Itsekiri for political convenience. Is that the history we want to follow? That will be something now that everybody want to debate. And if the Itsekiri cannot claim that, I want to say to the Itsekiri, the first time we saw the king we saw is the Olu of Itsekiri. Today is Olu of Warri. Define that. Let's not go into all that stupid debates. There's no boundary. I don't know who's going to prove the boundary between the Urhobo and the Itsekiri today. My pain is at the end of it, or we are losing. We are losing big time. If you don't know you are losing, where is your capital? City. Those of you are shouting today, killing one another. Your capital of the Delta State is in Asaba. Asaba is not in Delta. Asaba is in Numa State. You know why? Because you're killing yourselves. Why don't you people, those of you who are so strong, go and fight them fight the Yoruba man? Because the Yoruba man is going to tell you, maybe they're going to speak Itsekiri with the Yoruba man. They are more alike. Oh, we are not Urhobo, we are close to Yoruba man. Yoruba man, I love you past Yoruba man when he did with you for how many years? Urhobo man, I don't know where you're going. Well, I don't understand. I still don't understand. The question I ask is, what are you people fighting about? The end of result of your fighting is you are losing big time. The capital city of Delta State have no other reason than to be in Warri. But can you blame them for not keeping it there? Because we're going to kill one another. That's what they're going to say. And you get what? You know, let me put this. Today I was analyzing something. And so that you guys, those of you fighting, before I leave you with you to fight, let me just explain this. Anytime there's crisis, you know what you guys did? The Ijaw man, the Urhobo man, and the Itsekiri man, they went to where? To Abuja. They want their case to be settled by Ribado. That is the biggest shameful thing you have ever done. Let me say, shame on every one of you. You know why? These people don't even have your interest. The only interest they have is our oil. The reason I know is this. Now, there are crises in every part of the country. If it does not belong, if it's not concerning oil, it doesn't concern federal government of Nigeria. There's more crisis in Zamfara. I shared a video today where Ochimole was analyzing the crisis, the insecurity in Zamfara state and the oil they have there. Nobody is fighting. They're killing themselves more. There's more trouble there. They didn't call them to resolve issues. Because the federal government of Nigeria is not getting money from that oil, from that gold. It belongs to people in Zamfara. Now your oil, the one you have, is what you're killing yourself about. You're not even talking about how do we benefit from this, what God has given to us. You're killing yourself. And what will happen is the Yoruba man is going to tell you are his brother. Or the Benin man will recognize you, and one person will recognize, and you keep killing. Like what happened in Palestine and Israel. They will continue to kill themselves. They will continue to kill themselves. And you're gonna, you see, sometimes when I open this kind of show, I'm gonna hear a lot of blow. Oh, this one said this one said this. I said nothing. What my concern is, the federal government of Nigeria is not even interested in any of you. They're only interested in the oil. And if the reason I know is, if one thing happened, you know, Ribado was warning you. Listen to the message. He said, big warning that the federal government will not take anything. What they are not taking, you can die. You must not touch their oil. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. I'm going to read your comments when our time comes. I just think I should wait. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I know. I know that. Okay. Somebody said there is a boundary between the Urhobo and the Itsekiri. You man. You guys will help me to show the boundary. But the boundary, has that boundary given you a state? Your capital city is where? It's in Asaba. That should be more of your concern. I know where Asaba is. The time that state was created, I know how Asaba looked like. Today, even that the Christians go and buy a house in Asaba. Why? Because it's not the capital. What will I be doing in Asaba today? That's the implication of what people have just done. So, of all the beautiful land in Warri, the beautiful land in the Urhobo land, the beautiful land in the Ijaw, knowing that we are contributing 80% of that country, Nigeria, don't we deserve more than one state? Because as it is, the federal government share the money. Nobody is working. No. At the end of the month, everybody go to Abuja to collect their own share. Share of what? Your money. What you do best is you fight. So when you're fighting, they're eating your food. So that's the beauty of it. Keep fighting. As you are fighting, the federal government is sharing your money. They didn't share Zamfara or gold. They're not sharing the other ones. They're sharing our money. And you guys are busy fighting. The truth is, even if they say today, let us bring the state capital to Delta, to the true Delta, because Anioma will go eventually. Anioma is not part of Delta State. Asaba is not a part of Delta State. I am saying it because I'm an old man. I'm 59 years old. I celebrated 59 2 days ago. I'm no more a child. I know when Asaba was created. I know the state of Asaba then. Look at Asaba today. It's not a city. Okowa will open his mouth and talk. Right. Where the Urhobo man is talking. Where the Itsekiri man is talking. Now they're going to make you fight yourself. Keep fighting. If you see Urhobo man, Itsekiri man, cut the neck, may you celebrate. Itsekiri, if you see, Mona kill them. Ijaw, Mona do the same. can promise you, I know my grandfather. He had a Yoruba, he had a Ijaw wife, he had a Itsekiri wife. Which one did not get? I stay with the man. Where is this enemy? So those children now are my cousins, or they are my brothers and this thing. So they are my enemy now. We start killing one another, right? I don't know. Maybe you guys need to educate me more. Maybe we need to undo what my friend governor had. You see, these are cheap things, man. My pain is if we are fighting for our oil today, that the Christ will be dancing. If we are fighting for a state capital today, you know what I say to them? It's even the animal man that went to federal government and said they want the animal state. Between the two of you, Dafinone and the other senator, none of them has been able to raise a bill demanding for Delta State. The true Delta State has not been created. You are not, that is not your business. You're fighting and you go to Ribado to settle your crisis. What a shame. I'm not going to stay long on this show because the show is a show I created so that we will hear from all sides of the story. I'm going to have the Itsekiris on this show. I'm going to have the Ijaws on this show. I'm going to have the Urhobos on this show. I will play the umpire. Today is my opportunity to vet my anger. So you know the kind of man you're going to be dealing with. Don't think I'm going to be friendly. Because I have some difficult questions to ask every single one of you. As you come back to me, I have a very strong law background. The streaming is still ongoing. Apparently, something that has never happened to me in my show, so I've been told to keep quiet. I've been told, the network has just told me to keep quiet, and I will try and keep quiet, but I'll try and put one or two perspectives. It's quite a complicated show. I would rather stop and do it another day. Roland, thank you very much. Actually, you are one of my heroes. You know, the Urhobo man, I don't know what to say, man. I am more than disappointed at some of the things that are happening. I will not be able to continue this show today. I would rather plan it better and actually get. I don't. You know what I didn't want to do? I didn't want to have these three parties in one room because I don't have the goal to. I don't have the power the battle have to stop them from fighting. But what I would do is I will allow them. I will give every single one of them an opportunity to talk to themselves. Television is a platform where we talk to each other about ourselves. My message today is, as you are fighting, somebody is making away with your money. I hope to have, I pray that Dr. Ijaw could join me very briefly. Yes, it seems to be that the show can continue. I want Dr. Ijaw to set up. Once it is set up, I will be able to add Dr. Ijaw to this platform. And we can have that one-on-one. And those who want to watch this show, they might be confused that sometimes the show stopped, we went up and we came back. Maybe it's just to enable me have Dr. Ijaw on the platform tonight. He's still trying to get his technical things together. Once he's able to get that right, we'll be here, and I'll be having Dr. Ijaw, who is supposed to be my guest today. And it will be the one guest I want to have on this show. And we're gonna speak truth to power tonight. I want the truth. I'm not gonna be taking sides. You guys could trust me. But I want the truth. And there's no truth in this case. That's the painful thing. Because my truth may be different from your truth. That's why at the beginning of this show, I was asking, is there anything like right or wrong? Is there a disadvantage or an advantage? What is advantageous to you may be a disadvantage to another. Let's put it this way. If I'm going on the street and I lost 50,000 naira, it fall on the floor. Oh, I just lose money. Somebody walking down the street pick that money. Yeah, it's a good day for him. So let's not go into that. In this case, I wonder whether there's going to be a right or wrong. But the wrong I see here is why the Itsekiri, Ijaw, and the Urhobo man are fighting. Somebody is playing with your oil. Have you not asked yourself why the federal government of Nigeria have not bothered to go and fight those in Zamfara? In fact, what is it? I'm sure that there are other parties to this. People are playing masquerade. The masquerade is, they are more to it though. You know what I said the other time? And this should be the thought that concern you. In the history of Nigeria, Nigeria has been known for corrupt governance. Corrupt governance. The only two people that have been in prison because of corrupt governance in Nigeria, they are people from our area. One is Ibori, another one is Anemisia. Are they the most corrupt governors Nigeria has ever produced? I'm not supporting anything bad, but are they the most corrupt ones? Now, are we going to be able to speak with one voice? Where are we, my people? Where are we? Where are we? In this land called Nigeria, do people have a voice? So now that the former Bendel has just been split into two, because it was from Midwest to Bendel, only 4 regions. They break Midwest, they didn't do anything, they rename it as Bendel. So from Bendel is now only 2, Edo and Delta. Big loss, because the other regions are now 36 states, 34 states. They're sharing money now. The money they were sharing into 4 is now sharing into 36, 37 really. Only 2 now they come to us. And the insult to the Urhobo man self and the Itsekiri man, when supposed to, and the Ijaw man, when it's supposed to be paid on that. The capital city is in Asaba. Asaba. Kai. And I'm wondering, what these people fighting about? They're not fighting that to get Asaba. If I were to be home I will never go to Asaba to go and govern. We're going to do that. Let's quickly have when I can have Dr. Ejiro on the platform. And then if we can do that, we'll be smiling. Dr. Ejiro, I'm so sorry that we couldn't get you to our studio. The only studio we have in Delta State is in Asaba. And I want to say this. Let me see. Hello, doctor. All right.
Yeah.
Dr. A very, very good evening to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so privileged to have you tonight. Like I was just trying to say, the only studio we have is in Asaba, because the capital city of Delta State is in Asaba. If we had the capital city in Warri, the studio would have been in Warri. We will not be going through this. These are some of the implications of fighting. So I'm not happy that we are fighting at home. Dr. Ejiro, please, can you talk us through your own take on this whole issue? What is going on? Give us some historical perspective. Make it brief. Then tell us why the disagreement. And my question is, it's good we listen to you first before I ask my question. So what is really going on, sir?
Yeah, briefly, what is going on is a kind of restoring the rights of people that have been oppressed for a very long time. And the oppressors, in quotes, who have been enjoying the privileges that belong to these people, they don't want to let go.
Okay.
Now, the history, all these things are tied to the history of Nigeria. They said when an abomination is committed over and over again and is tolerated, it becomes a custom. So it is now the norm that the Itsekiri people that over the years have been primed or acculturated to see that they are the owner of the old Warri division, and so must be in charge of the governance of the old Warri division. When the British came to our shores, by natural geography, the Itsekiri, they came through the sea. If they had come through the desert, then they would have met perhaps the Hausa people first, then come to the hinterland, meet us first before meeting the Itsekiri. But water transportation was the first means of how to travel far, invented by humans. And so when they came with their ships by our shore, they came into areas of Itsekiri territory by the coast. The Urhobo were the hinterland, compounded with the fact that as at that time, nobody knew the cause of malaria. They were afraid that many of them would die of malaria, so they will camp by the high sea, and the Itsekiri man became their middleman for a period of almost 400 years. Meanwhile, the Urhobos are the producers of palm oil and whatever thing they want. And so, over the years, these people, in the initial stage, gave power to people like Nana Olomu of Itsekiri and then Don Numa. And then colonialism started. When colonialism started, they first of all called this whole area Warri province. That was in 1914, when Lord Lugard did the amalgamation. And most of even the colonial native courts in Urhobo land were started by Itsekiri people, with Don Numa, the Itsekiri paramount chief, as the head of the Warri province. And so, over the years, by the principle of indirect rule, power was given to the Itsekiris. Then, The problem of land ownership now came because the British wanted to colonize us and take our resources. In the indirect rule system, you work your land. After you work your land, you pay your taxes through your high chief or your king. The king will collect certain percentage and pay the rest to the British. It means as a local chief, the richer and more territory you have, the
more money, the more
territory you have, and with larger resources, the wealthier you will become. And so there was that scramble and scrambling and partitioning of our land. Unfortunately for the Urhobos and the Ijaws, they did not have a centralized system of monarchy, which actually the British wanted. In northern Nigeria, it didn't take time. It was very simple for them. The northern Nigeria already have an organized system of governance by the emirs. They were already collecting taxes from the Hausa people, whom they conquered about 100 years before the arrival of the British. But here in the south, we are acephalous. We have no head. Apart from the Oba of Benin, who was like the overlord of this area, the Urhobos and Ijaw, each clan have their own headmen, ruled by gerontocratic elders. But the Itsekiris had a form of monarchy, simply because the Itsekiri monarchy is a replication of the Benin monarchy. Though it was in a state of interregnum when the British came, but it was highly organized because they were being ruled by Itsekiri high chief Nana before they appointed Don Numa. So it was very easy for them to organize them together to collect their taxes. And so the Urhobo areas that had no organized chiefs were quickly put under the jurisdiction of this in the Warri area under the Itsekiri Native Authority. Now, it means that at that time, most Urhobo cases were decided at the Itsekiri Native Court, High Court. It's very funny. Most of all these initial cases they are talking about was decided at Itsekiri Native over, not even in Warri Township. They will paddle into the river and then go and sit before people like the Moma Wumi, people like Ofari Egbe, all the Itsekiri aristocrats, chief skin. Then they will decide the matter. You can only appeal from the Itsekiri Native Court down to the main court here in Warri, in which an Itsekiri man to Don Numa was the paramount High Court judge of the Warri Native Court of Appeal. And so sometimes our ancestors told us that if you go to those courts, the first thing they ask you, what's your name? Say Umukoro. And then the other people, what's your name? Orishetimeyi. Umukoro has 50% lost the case. To blend, our ancestors started changing their names. Urhobo people started answering Ofonishere, Ikomi, Amaranta Ikomi, and just to make sure that when they go to court, they will get justice. And so over the years, the Itsekiri have hijacked the political machinery. They know that their success depends on that. And then they take ahead over this Warri matter. But the children of these people have gotten Western education and their eyes have become open. And now they saw the injustice. And the Ijaw people, Timinimini and Eric Omari, went to court, to the Supreme Court, and said the previous delineation, particularly the delineation of 1999 and 2002 were fraudulent. They were able to prove before the Supreme Court that this delineation of the three Warri local government were fraudulent. For example, in the 1999 delineation, Ogbijo, which used to be the ancestral home, which was originally the location of Ogbijo today, was not the location as at 1908. The Warri GRA is or was the original, the ancestral home of the Ogbijo people. I've asked Itsekiri. Before Warri GRA was built, can you tell me the name of the Itsekiri people that were there? Was it a virgin land? The Okbisho people were evicted and settled in their private location by Captain Philip James in 1908. That is there, it's written in the British Intelligence Report of Warri Township. And some of them actually also settled around the GRA. And their population have been reckoned with in the 1929 census, in the 1963 census, in the 1991 census, and all the voting that took part in Warri Urban in colonial days. Even in the 1979 election that brought Shagari into power, the Warri GRA was called Ijaw 1. But suddenly in 1999, it disappeared. They said Ijaw are no longer in Warri South. Warri Southwest, in population of a National Population Commission says the population of Warri Southwest is 116,638. But their voters register is 145,000 plus. It means the voting population is more than the entire population. Even INEC in their own report, in page 34, says that Warri Southwest is one of those fraudulent wards used in rigging election in the entire Nigeria. In the 2019 election, the votes that came from Warri Southwest was 151,000 votes, whereas their total voter register was 145, and their total population is 116,000. That is clearly fraudulent. Warri North, forward, we're voting in just one center, one. It means that only one ward was being used to vote. The rest three were used in rigging the election. And this thing happened particularly when an Itsekiri man, Urhobo, was the governor of Delta State. As at that time, because many Urhobos did not actually vote him, they had to balloon the voting strength by creating this fictitious ward and unit so that the vote of the three Warri local government would have been enough to scale him through. And it succeeded because we have a corrupt system. And so, this is just, we're able to prove the case in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said it means that delineation had never taken place before. Go back, go and repeat the entire process. INEC, it has not been done. Now, it means that INEC can no longer use the voters register and the previous one again. They have to develop new templates to be able to do this delineation. They said they're going to use existing population. And then the land must be contiguous and ethnic similarity. And when they came with their GPS machine, tracking each community. The Itsekiri brought their anchor men to defend their interests, three of them. The Ijaws also brought their own, the Urhobos also brought their own. Throughout, this exercise was carried out in the presence of these 9 men, moving from community to community. Most Itsekiris were not found in their communities. And INEC collected the data and went. INEC released the results, and then the Itsekiri saw that they've been living in delusion all the while. They've been living in fictitious world all the while. And now they are threatening fire and brimstone that because the privileges of others that they have rightly enjoyed, but are now it's not time to restore them to the rightful owners, which is in English is called restitution. They are not seeing it as if it's an oppression. They are not changing the narrative of ward delineation to land ownership. Ward delineation deal with existing population, whether Aboriginal people or residents, provided they are citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In fact, even if they want to delineate Hausa quarter today or Igbudu, if the population of the Hausa people end up being more than the population of the Urhobos, so be it, that's delineation. In Sabon local government area in Kano State, it is the Igbo people that usually win election in that particular ward. Even here,
they win the election in Ijaw. They also
even here in Sapele local government, Ungwaja Ward 8 is always won by the Itsekiris. It doesn't mean that because the Opa people own the land that they must win that election. No. Election has to do with number of people. If you want the system change, you can approach the National or the National Assembly to factor land ownership into what delineation. Hello?
Yeah, we're with you. For those of you, if you just joining me. Yes.
Yeah, you can factor land ownership, but that is not the law for now. The law has no play, but even then, it does not mean to say that the Urhobos are not owners of their land. There is nothing to show today that the government even believe the Itsekiris that they are the owners of Warri. If the government believes Itsekiris are the owners of Warri, government will not have balkanized Warri Township into 3 kingdoms. Today, the kingdoms are autonomous, and by the acts creating the kingdom, they say those kings are co-equal. There's no one is not greater than the other. This is because the claim of the Itsekiris to the ownership of Warri Township is based on court judgments. Now, we know that in any court, the innocent person can lose if he does not want have money to take the services of a lawyer, or have money to take the services of a good lawyer, or his lawyer is not intelligent enough. Yes. And then 2, courts deal with legal reality, not historical reality. For example, today, Tinubu or Wike is the legal owner of FCT land by Nigeria Legal Act. No. But it doesn't mean that it was Tinubu ancestors that founded the land.
That owns.
We, the Urhobos, have been proven that they founded their land in Warri Township. The British came and started promulgating ordinance, and it was the basis of those ordinances which were interpreted as at that time that made Itsekiri to score some victory. For example, when the British came in 1993, the Agbasa case, they met the Agbasa elders and signed treaty with them as sovereign owners of their land. Now, by 1926, when the Agbasa people litigated with the Itsekiris over their land, the Agbasa people could not see their treaty to produce because some days of the election, some days of the court case, some people came and burned down the house of their FCVB that contained the treaty, and the treaty lost in the process. And so during trial, the lawyer subpoenaed the judge that give us a copy of the treaty that is with the government. The judge refused. And they said, but if Agbasa people can at any time bring their treaty, the court will accept it. The Agbasa people could not see the treaty, and the court gave judgment against them. Now, if 40 years later, the treaty was not discovered in the British archive, and the British authenticated it to be genuine, is it not enough reason to overturn that fraudulent judgment? And so, in all those judgments, you cannot even see where it is stated that a particular Itsekiri ancestors founded Agbasa is not there. The claim is overlordship. The Olu is overlord. The Olu is overlord simply because the Olu is the king, is the owner of the land. But when after independence, they tested this ownership right based on who founded the land, the Itsekiri lost woefully in the Idudu versus Okumagba case, wherein it was stated that 3 Urhobo ancestors, Idama, Sokoruwe, and Okotembu, founded their land in Okere Urhobo. Even recently in the Ogunu case, when the Ogunu people brought their treaty, the Itsekiri people themselves called for out of court settlement, and in the settlement, they abdicated their claim and bestowed title of Ogunu land to the Urhobo family of Ebrigbegbe. What could be more than that? What could be more than that? So, whatever kingdom Kidwa founded did not extend to Warri Township. And the government had never even believed the Itsekiri court victories. Government never implemented it any way, any day. Even the British that time, when the people of Agbasa disobeyed the judgment, the Itsekiri cried that they disobeyed the judgment and they should have read them. The British said, no, we cannot. that the basis of overlordship, that these people founded their land. You have not told us the Itsekiri family that founded the land. The basis of you owning the land is what we call nominal overlordship. It's just like today. Even if you go to Google, say who is the owner of the lands in Canada, they will tell you it's the monarch of England because of the basis of overlordship. But did they found the land? No. Who is the owner of American land? Is the government of the United States of America. Did they found the land? No. The Aboriginal Red Indians founded the land. So our basis of owning Warri land is that our ancestors founded the land even before the law came. So it was the law that they promulgated. Like today now, even the Warri Township land, the law has vested all those public land on the state governor. And so, even if the Olu decide who is claiming and the Itsekiri who are claiming that they own the land, go and challenge the state government, it is the Land Use Act that will be used interpreting it, and the governor will be declared the legal owner. So what are they now bragging about that they own land when they don't own any land there? So that's just what's happening. Some people are trying to cry foul because they feel that they are about to lose the privileges that they have enjoyed all over the years, which rightly belong to others. But it's now being restored to the rightful owners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That is a very, very elaborate and detailed analysis of an issue. Sensitive it is, careful it is. From what you've said, sir, that the British actually they were looking for, because I think that's a fact. I think the Itsekiri will also agree. I don't know whether they want to do that the British that said, because they want to rule. That's what during indirect rule they will want to have a head who will take over, so they can allocate that. Okay, you've had all this area, but it doesn't mean that the people who were there are no more existing, and you're not supposed to coexist with them with respect. That is the problem we have here. There's element of lack of respect because the power has been given to the Itsekiri, from what I can see now, if that is still the case. But my real question is this. Sir,
I can hear you.
What is the real trouble in this current dispensation? What are we fighting today about? Because that issue has been there. It looks as if the matter could not be resolved by INEC and the Nigerian government. It's something they needed to do, and Nigerian government is trying to play that they don't know anything about this. Because what is the government of that's what I want to say. What is the government of Nigeria saying about this? What is the position of the government of Nigeria right now?
Well, the position of the government is the position of the Supreme Court. The government is not bigger than the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that all the previous delineation in the Warri Federal Constituency is null and void. And INEC should go and do a de novo, a new delineation. And if INEC doesn't do it, election must not take place in the Warri Federal Constituency again. And so a lot of people are thinking that they can use other offices in Nigeria. The decision of the Supreme Court is supreme.
Of course.
There's no way you will bend it. All this one that you're doing is trying to blackmail. The only remedy is if you notice any anomaly in this delineation, you first of all go back to INEC. INEC, please, in my community, you shortchange me. We are social community, you didn't reflect us. If INEC refuse, you collect your data and then go to the Supreme Court, go to the court again. You cannot go from one radio station to one office. Oh, are you saying that, like some of them now, they went to the office of the National Security Advisor? Are they saying that the National Security Advisor should go and overturn the judgment of the Supreme Court? Are they telling us that the National Security Advisor should direct INEC on what to do? It means that the National Security Advisor in the next election can also direct INEC, declare this person as governor, declare this person as senator, declare this person as our House of Rep. The National Security Advisor can only take care of security matters, not legal matters. Government must have the willpower. All these things have happened in the past. And the recommendation, create a separate local government area for these three people. It was the same in Itsekiri that fought that they cannot have a separate local government. The Itsekiri condition is that all of them must live together in the same local government, but with Itsekiri as the owner, as the chairman, the commissioner, the House of Reps, in that local government. Which kind of, who is your slave? It's not done that way. Now, the British understand the Itsekiri peculiarity problem, and the British actually solve it for them. But it is not my duty to tell them what the British did. Let the Itsekiri people research, and they will see what happened as at that time. The Itsekiri history, one of the things that is haunting them today is that they traded slaves for a period of almost 300 to 400 years. And so because of that, the slaves now that they bought, particularly as domestic slaves among themselves, their allies, had children and had grandchildren. It was at that time the British abolished slavery. And the British also abolished domestic slavery. Now, instead of this Itsekiri to co-opt these slaves into their society as free men, they were still discriminating them, and these descendants of these slaves that no longer have a land to themselves to call home. And so most of them were not drifting into Urhobo side because, of course, there's no land in the water side to start this land grabbing. If not, when the slavery was abolished in 1903, for example, this is not a lie, it is there in the Sapele land case, that the Itsekiris of Sapele were slaves of Nana. When Ebrohimi was destroyed in 1894, the Itsekiris, 5,000 of them, 5,000 and half slaves, during the war ran to Sapele to meet the Okpe people because Ebrohimi was destroyed. And they met Chief Ofotoku, who was the head chief of the Okpe then, who now settled them in Ugwanja to stay there. And that is why most times they are buried there. They can't take them to that place because the Itsekiris, the real Aboriginal Itsekiri, don't accept them. And so they buried them in Sapele. Now, the Itsekiris of Amukpe, like Professor Itsekiri. Professor Itsekiri, for example, is a prominent Itsekiri person that has represented Itsekiri well. Why can't Professor Itsekiri have a quarter in Ode Itsekiri? Oh man, you know. As I'm telling you today, Professor Itsekiri will be buried in Amukpe. You see what I'm trying to say? Simply because his grandfather was a servant of Nana from Edo State that was also caught by the eradication of slavery. They couldn't go back because they did not know their particular community again. So, and that is why most of them settling in the waterfront of Urhobo land, Ajagodudu was a slave bought from Udu. During the whole thing, they went to find Ajagodudu. The same thing with the secretary of Ibrifo, Efrokbe, Ajaorogu. So this is one of the reasons why Itsekiri is having land problem today. The Olu have tried to settle the matter by making a royal decree, this Oluda, that they should no longer use the term of Majaja or Eru again. They should call all of them, Sir, or me, to break that dichotomy. But habit that is not established is difficult to eradicate. So the Itsekiri have to look into that aspect of how to welcome all these people and treat them as one, and even give them high-ranking chieftaincy title in the palace. Because these people now don't speak Urhobo language, they cannot be integrated into Urhobo land, and they cannot be integrated into it. So they are just like Itsekiri in name. That's one of their problems. The British identified it as at that time, and that is why the British said Itsekiris in Urhobo land, all their taxes should be paid into Warri treasury. Itsekiri native treasury, they work in Urhobo land. But they pay their taxes in Itsekiri native authority. Whereas the Urhobos in Warri,
Listen, the essence of this show is for us to be educated. And there's gonna be two sides, always three sides to the story. But this is interesting. I'm listening and I'm learning, and I'm sure you are learning too. And it is good for us to do this with a very open mind. If somebody that is lying, you can actually tell if there's a difference, if there's lies in it, or where the lie is coming from. And I'm sure the current Olu of Itsekiri will be able to also give us a very better insight into all this. And so our kings. There's so many things here. Because the slave trade, the slave trade has caused a lot of damages. A lot. Now, the question is really what happened to the slaves? Following the abolition, slave trade was abolished. What happened to the slaves? That is the question he raised. And in Itsekiri, we want to address that. That will help them to put their own people together. Because you can tell that the Itsekiri that are in Ajagbodudu may not be the clean one. They will call you, are you a clean Itsekiri? Because only Itsekiri that have that thing called Otogugu, they have that word a lot. But anyway, I'm not going to go into all that much. But perhaps, if there's something the Urhobo man is doing that I will see, I'll tell them to stop. But that part of the slave trade, Itsekiri, if I see they don't want to stop her. But that is not the issue today. My interest would have been if I can have Chief Ijaw back, Dr. Ijaw back, I would have loved to ask, what's the way forward? Now, yes, I'm happy Dr. is back. The issue is this. The beginning, the history is that the British were looking for covenant, they find the Itsekiri, they were their best friend, they work with them, they traded with them, they do slave trade with them. So things happen in the favor of the Itsekiri then. That the Urhobo men, because the boundary must have expanded though. It may not be the same Warri we were talking then that we are still talking now. The things have just beginning to grow and grow and grow. Today, don't you think it is right time for the Olu of Itsekiri and everybody on Olu of Warri or anybody to sit down and say, hey, why don't we resolve this matter? Up front, we are brothers and sisters. We've lived together for so long. Is that not the way forward? This issue of saying this land is my own, is it going to work? So that is my question. Dr. Ijaw, let me have you back. And my question is, what's the way forward? What would you suggest that the Olu of Warri do today? Because we are talking of Warri now. Warri has been divided into 3 local governments. That is the area I wanted you to clear with us. So that
the way forward.
Yes.
The way forward is to embrace the problem based on reality, truth, and justice. For example, various commissions of inquiry have suggested that the 3 tribes should have 3 local governments. The Ijaw should have a local government of their own. The Urhobo should have a local government of their own. The Itsekiris should have a local government of their own. Unfortunately, the Itsekiris have always kicked against this idea. Secondly, good governance. Good governance. If we have a functioning local government system, a councillor can even do wonders. Now, a lot of people now are not scrambling to be local government chairman because it is the local government chairman that will now decide the resources of a particular local government. If local government can build hospitals, can give scholarship, can build schools, can build factories, and in fact, some allocation in some local governments enough to build private university. Some of them can build factories, industries. If they are doing that, employing everybody, irrespective of your tribe, going by the constitution, all this crisis will not happen. But the first step is that each tribe must have their own local government. If the tribe have their own local government and the local government are allowed to rule well, then the other one, like House of Assembly member, House of Rep, Senate, will not matter to us. It will be immaterial. For example, as an Urhobo man, we are not dreaming to become the president of Nigeria. Governor, that's okay for you because that's you. If you are local government, so if there are some people, there are some tribes in this Nigeria that cannot even be local government chairman in some states.
True.
They are not by so small. Their hope is a councillor. And so let the government come from bottom to up rather than from top to bottom, so that a councillor can even build primary and secondary school in their locality.
That's fair.
Then the Itsekiris must open up their mind that you cannot force yourself on another. See, for you to be a king, you must derive your authority from the consent of the people you rule. The Olu of Warri cannot just say that he's the overlord of Warri and is the king of the Ijaw and the Urhobo. That's food paradise. It's not possible. You can't do that. You cannot summon an Agbasa or a Buduman to your palace. So why give yourself that? Then again, the name Warri is a source of conflict. Big one. When, for example, government, because Warri is far bigger. We are not even talking of the conflict of the three Warri local government. We have forgotten that the neighboring Uye, town of Efru, Ekman, that are far bigger than Warri Township, are called Warri. Udu is called Warri. The airport of Subi is called Warri Airport. The railway is called Warri Railway. The refinery in Ekman is called Warri. And then you are not calling somebody Olu of Warri. Then the Warri is expanding every day. It is almost, it's not in Agbaru. It's not in Ugeli. You are calling Warri. So government now should solve the problem by what Awolowo did in 1952. Awolowo had to change the name of Warri province to Delta province. They can change the name of Warri to Delta City or change it to Atlantic. The three local government area could be Atlantic North, Atlantic South, Southwest, and Atlantic South local government, if they want to maintain the Olu of Warri title. Or if they don't want to maintain the Olu of Warri title, they let all the kings there answer Warri, Ovi of Warri, Oroswa of Warri, Olu of Warri, to separate them. You can say Ovi of Agbara Warri, Oroswa of Okere Warri, Olu of Itsekiri Warri, so that we know that there's something balance. Or, like I said, if the Itsekiris are saying that Warri is their own, is the corruption of the word Iwere, then let Olu of Iwere, because Iwere and Warri are not the same thing. When I say Olu of Iwere, you know that I'm talking about the Itsekiri people. For example, to us Urhobo, cocoa is part of Iwere land, but cocoa is not part of Warri Township, which we all know. Ajagodu is part of Iwere land, but it's not part of Warri Township. So,
not all part of Ajagodu, people will be angry.
Because to us, Warri means a political entity, a township, a local government, and a federal constituency. But to the Itsekiri,
I'm with you. What would you say? I can hear. We can hear you. The world can hear you. Anyway, Dr. Ijaw will just want to hear from me because I know he's been talking, and I am just, I'm kind of quiet because my interest is, I'm going to come with my own part of the story now. I hope Dr. Ijaw will have the opportunity to now hear my own side of the story. Dr. Ijaw, can you hear me? Because the network seems to have frozen again. We'll wait for Dr. Ijaw to come back, and when he comes back, I'll be asking what we stand to gain or loss by this. Like Dr. Ijaw rightly said, I will be throwing those questions to the Itsekiri when I meet them on this show. But my question today will go to Dr. Ijaw, which I'm not going to hit him very hard on in terms of, if you say the word Warri you should not stop using Warri. Warri, they said it comes from Iwere. Warri, Iwere. It's like their own. And I think the historical fact here is that the British the power were given to the Itsekiri at a particular time, and whatever happened then, that destiny cannot continue forever. Itsekiris. That's the only thing I want to advise. If the British, who just come to do what they want, and they were looking for their own interest to take what they have and go, and they now pick on you so that you can do certain things for them, because that's what they do. And you have done it for so long, that makes you to have domination over others. It will not continue forever. And at a point in time, we need to sit down and agree. And that will be my own take. We need to sit down and agree, unless you're saying that, okay, this land is my own. Other people cannot stay in the land. Because even if you own a land now, listen, we live in England. I now live in England. You can't change, you can't come to my area in England and tell me get out. No, it's mine. I will vote. I have right to be voted for. That is the civilized way of doing things. Perhaps, if this kind of crisis continue, one will only wonder of what use are then the traditional rulers if they are the one causing crisis. Because we are now come to a stage where society need to move forward. We need to do things right. Now, this is the most interesting thing that you're not addressing. This issue I have not addressed. The issue of what you own. The area owns oil. The oil is controlled by the federal government of Nigeria. That is what concerns federal government of Nigeria. The oil money is what we're using to develop Asaba now. I hope Ejiro will come back, because this is why I actually have the show. Now, we are not talking about that. We are talking how we're going to fight the Itsekiri, or do this or do that. Is that the solution? As we are doing that, the capital city of Delta State is still in Asaba. The next governor is going to come from that area. Okowa was even governor. He controlled us. Even you think Okowa, we cannot do that, man. I agree that sometimes what I'm so happy, or what can, there's something I said. Change is inevitable. Itsekiri, yes, you must have enjoyed certain things for some time. There are bound to be changes. And even the British at the point in time have to go when Nigerians wake up and say, listen, you cannot rule us for too long. It's time for us to decide our own destiny. The British packed their bag and they left. So whatever they gave to you in the British era cannot continue forever. You couldn't even be telling me that there were no Urhobo people as at the time the British came. As at the time they formed that Warri province and gave it to you, that you were only that there were no Urhobo people. Come on. If the Urhobo people were there, where are they now? What is their own? Or that they made them under your province then, they cannot continue to remain under your province. At a point in time, they will have their own destiny to decide. I think that reality is what has to be decided upon. And like what Dr. Ijaw also said, perhaps a time will come. That will be my question to the Itsekiri, and I'm not afraid of anybody. That's my question. Before the power was given to you by the British, were there Urhobo people? Were Urhobo people formed to be part of because British only put this together for their covenant, for administrative covenant. So they did that, and this is all your own. These are all under Warri province. So the British to rule easily. So the taxes will be going there to the British. That's what they would do. Nobody is a child. And they were slave trade done the same way. So, sir, the British have been asked to go. They've left. We cannot continue that history. A time is going to come when people here will say, hey, Baba, that thing you've been doing, you get to stop. The Oba of Benin was very popular, was very big, was very powerful. A time has to start, they tell Oba, stay your own. See, these are things that must happen. And our ability to accept it will make us more civilized. But that's not even my concern. And like, I'm happy people are trying to play. It's not me. I'm trying not to put it out there. But I want to play this somebody. I want to share some of the messages online. UPU is failing. Not even in a single word for UPU. It's a big word. Raymond, you said it correctly. As we are talking about all this, I'll bring UPU here. If I can't get the president, at least I'll get the youth president to come and talk to us about it. And the truth is, the quarreling is not going to help us. At the end of the day, we still need to do one thing. We still need to reconcile with the Itsekiri. The Itsekiri must respect the right of the Urhobo man. You must respect the Urhobo as a tribe, your brothers. They're not going to be under you. We're all going to be on our own. But I'm going to live together with mutual respect. If we can accept that, then the people coming to take our resources, like The capital city of Delta State, you, the Urhobo man, the Itsekiri, and the Ijaw man, like I said at the beginning of the show, you can sue anything you want to do. Your capital city is in an Igbo land. Asaba not be part of Delta State. Asaba na Anambra State. So is that not supposed to be our challenge today? But with this infighting, we will have time to solve that problem. No. Probably said now, what is this now? I said to Roma, leave Itsekiri alone because they are already too small. What they will do is the Yoruba man will come and say, don't mind them, bro. Come, we are one of us. Because Yoruba man wants oil. Because the day the Urhobo man, the Itsekiri, and the Ijaw man come together, there will be problem for Nigeria. Let me repeat. The day the Urhobo man, the Ijaw man, and the Itsekiri man become one, there will be problem. Because we will be asking questions. Where is our money? How come that our capital is in Anambra State? How come that we don't have this? How come that the former Midwest region has been divided? Only two have been given to us. These are questions we're supposed to be asking. But because we are fighting, we don't have time to do that. Who is winning? The Nigerian government. Who is winning? The Yoruba man. Sorry, I'm not even talking of Hausa man today. I'm talking of the Yoruba man. Now, what I don't like, and perhaps what I'm not really happy with, is when the Urhobo man, the Ijaw man, the Itsekiri man now go under the authority. Of course, it's Nigeria, we have to respect them. But under the authority of Ribadu, what Ribadu got to say to three of you? What does Ribadu know? Has Ribadu been able to solve the problem in Zamfara? Where he's coming from? If Buhari could not even go to a village, there's more crisis over there than here. Have they solved their problem? And they you know, the thing that annoyed me when everybody were talking about what happened in Rivers State. That's why you are not my friend, you are not my man. You go to Abuja and you allow them to destroy Rivers State for you. You say, no, you are fighting for it. What are you fighting? Okay. Whatever crisis between you and Fubara is even better for the people than for you to bring an outsider in. I'm talking of one and less. In this crisis, we need to come in, we need to come home. The Olu of Shokiri, the current Olu, is a young man. He's the one to make pronunciation and there will be peace. There is no way what the British did going to continue to live forever. Whether they even made you king, whether they did everything before, today is a new reality. You have people living with you now. Should they be your slave? Nigeria does not recognize subjects. It's only local kingdom that recognize subjects. We all citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I and you, we are equal. Deal with it. Let us live in a more open society so that there will be opportunity for us all. The sad news here is that the more we fight, the more the outsider come to take what belongs to us. And the Itsekiri man, let me say this. You said the Urhobo man be your problem. How can? Now Urhobo man, I give power to the Itsekiri man. Ibori, now hand over power to Oduara can never win an election in 1,000 years. I repeat, Oduara on his own will never have won an election in 2 million years. Who is Oduara? Which intelligence do you think he is? Ibori gave it to you guys. Where is the trouble? Where is the enmity now we are talking about? I mean, Ibori na Itsekiri man. So what are we talking about? Yeah, in a way, I don't think we have all the time to read that, but I'm going to read what Onomekren has to say. And I really have some things to say to the Itsekiri in this respect as well. I have some concern. You're going to keep saying that the Urhobo man is this, the Urhobo man is that. Urhobo man can never be your slave. That days of slavery, go with them. That time don't pass. The British has even packed up slavery. So you need to pack it up in your head and then deal with the current reality. That's all I have to say. However, the Urhobo man must live together with Itsekiri now. These are your brothers, my guy. Let me read this out. The Itsekiri are very disrespectful. They don't care about the doctrine of friendship, but Urhobo leaders are babysitting them. No, the Noble Itsekiri men, Chief Brandene, Ayere, Imami, and Robinson, Ario, etc., have gone to the national TV to spill nonsense about Urhobo on this issue. Kingsley Otuaro, former governor, former deputy governor, has gone to speak on behalf of the Ijaws. But still today, no single Urhobo man, nobleman, except Ejiro now, has spoken on behalf of the Urhobo people. They play Mugu politics, the Itsekiri knows. I agree. You are talking about all this now. One would have assumed that no kingdom, the Urhobo is made up of 24 kingdoms. So none of them will be able to speak for the Urhobos. At this moment before, would have expected the UPU to speak for the Urhobo man. Let's not get this thing wrong, bro. Itsekiri are very tiny compared to the population of the Urhobos. We are fifth in population. Itsekiri will be around about 12th or 13th in population if they up to. We are fifth. We don't have a voice in Nigeria. The Itsekiri should be our brothers. Don't even annoy the Urhobo man. He's angry enough. And again, the Urhobo man, if the more you fight the Itsekiri, the more they look for somebody else to cause more harm to us. That's what I feel. But there are some delicate issues that still need to be addressed. Maybe the story given to us is wrong. Otherwise, if it is correct, then we need to ask our elders how we got here. From what we can see now, the British came. We know that they came through the sea. If you are coming through the sea, you meet the people by the riverside first. The Itsekiri were the people by the riverside. And if they're looking for slaves, definitely they're going to carry us as slaves, the Urhobo man. That anger still there. Itsekiri man, take it easy. The whole slave that were abandoned, where are they? These have nothing to do with complete Urhobo man. These people are angry. Dr. Ejiro has been able to analyze some of these things. I'm sure the Itsekiri will tell us. What are you going to say? The land is your own. Who owns the land? Land belongs to God. The question is, who live in the land now? That's what Nigerian government understand. That is what God understands. God does not give you land, though. The land belongs to God for all mankind to inherit. You could be a king in a land, but who are the people living in the land? Are they your people? Or you are a king over other people's land? Or you are a king over others? Because if you say that the Itsekiri owns Warri, then the whole people in Warri should be Itsekiri people then. I beg you. Make we take it easy. The question I'm going to ask the Itsekiri when they come on this show. But still, I still don't see the trouble between us and the Itsekiri. The Itsekiri and the Urhobo man, the German, I have not seen the trouble. I don't think the Olu will get up one day and say, no, Urhobo man can stay in Warri. It has not happened. If they want to be say they are superior, why do it concern you? At the end of the day, when elections come, we're going to vote on the number of people that will go there. Will the Itsekiri vote more than you? No. Why are you worried? Does the Itsekiri stop you from having your own king? If they say that, then we have a problem. They are not. At least we now have different kings. Why are we still fighting? You see, the government of Nigeria, you caused this trouble. Don't sit on the fence. That's why I was trying to hear what the Supreme Court says. The British caused the first part. The federal government of Nigeria need to resolve this matter now, without sentiment. The situation is this: there are people living in Warri. They say there are kings in Warri there. Not only the Olu, they are all around. And if the more you do this, the more kings will begin to spring up. Because people will begin to decide their own destiny. It's a natural thing. There was a time, you, the Itsekiri, you come to that land at a particular time. That was not where you were born. I use the word, you know what I mean. You move from one place, they said you come from the Benin to the place, from Benin to that place. So you were not originally from there. So nobody is originally from anywhere. The question is, who are the people there now? Or you want to pack them out? The Urhobo people, are we going to push the Itsekiri out now? So there's need to live together. There is need to live together. The only thing I always say to the Itsekiri man when I see them, when they are angry with the Urhobo, I always say, well, I don't know what you're saying, no, but it's the same Urhobo man, the Bori, that gave you power. Governor, that is the best thing they can ever do for you. The Itsekiri man will never win the election. Okay, now, make we wait. Whether or not going to win the next election, it will not come to you again for some time. If the Bori did not use his own power to give power then to run, there's no way Itsekiri man will become. How can we still be your enemy? I don't understand that. I cannot be here. Am I taking side? Let me keep quiet then. I don't need to take side, but some of these things are quite annoying. You can claim ownership of a land. On what basis? The Oba of Benin will tell you when the Oba go to that place. There is always a time in the history of men that you arrive, your forefathers arrived somewhere. Now, because you've been there for some time, you claim ownership of the place. Fair enough. Then what about the people that have come of recent? Are they not going to be owners of the place? At one point in time, they will be owners. Deal with it. I know there's some boys that grew up in Ogara. They are now citizens of Ogara. They may not have originally come from there. They grew up there. Are you going to tell them they come from somewhere else? So where? Where are you going? Because the Nigerian government does not even recognize that, and the law of God does not recognize that. I'm going to have more of these shows, guys, and it's going to be a very sensitive one. I'm going to bring the Itsekiris in here. I'm bringing in the Ijaws here. The Itsekiris, I think it's time to be wise. In this time now, when we need to vote for one another, there's a governor race coming up. There's a local government, and there's a senatorial race coming up. You can't win without us. There's no way you will win that senatorial seat without the Urhobo man and the Ijaw man in the Warri. There's nothing you will do without them. And in fact, the Itsekiri man, you are now in the same place with Ijaw and Isoko. You can win them with your vote. No matter what you do, there is no way you will become a governor without the Urhobo man, without the Ijaw man. And the Ijaw man, is it not easier for you to have the Itsekiri man with you than before you go and look for the vote of the animal man to become governor? This infighting is a big loss to you, to me, and to everyone. At the end of the day, let me zero down on what Krendy Onome said right here. You people, where are you people? Obi Shekuro, this is part another issue again. We are looking for UPU to say something. Like Irali said, the Itsekiris have gone to national television to speak. The Ijaw, they were there. I was listening to the former governor. He was sound. And it's so good to have somebody like Ejiro now. This is the same land where we have Okumagba. Only Okumagba will handle this matter for the Urhobos. UPU are not fit up. That's why we're going to end the show today. I think next week I will bring in somebody else from another side to look at this issue. I will probably, listen, if you agree not to come on my show, I don't mind. There's a person in the Bible said, God called very many. Actually, Jesus Christ, he tell of them. Only one of them came back. That one God take over. If I call you, you refuse to come on the show, it's up to you. I will do what I can do. There's a fact that I presented here that children in years to come will come. You can go to national television and say your own. They will say their own here. Children will put one or two together, and they will be fat. From what I have seen so far, the British started this whole trouble. They came through the sea. They met the Itsekiri first. They must have given some power to them. That place is called the Warri province. That's fair enough. And the head of the Warri province then will be the king. Fair enough. So that is going to be a fact. But sir, that must have gone through the slave trade and all that. Slave trade is over. It's a new era. We want to know who owns the land. Yes, who are living in the land. Are they slaves or they have right to inherit the land they find themselves? The law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria does not recognize owner of land, recognize who lives in the land. That's why if I'm anywhere in Nigeria, I have the right to build a house there. I have the right to be voted for and to vote. Thank you very much. Okay, this somebody here, I'm sure this guy is a Itsekiri guy. And I like that. He said the Ijaw and Urhobo combined will not be able to take Warri off Itsekiri. Are they really trying to take it off? What are you taking? And the question is, I know there are going to be issues here. And then another guy, of course, this is where the trouble is going to come. I said, is Warri in Itsekiri hand? Warri has never been Itsekiri and will never be. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it there. All right? Let's keep it there. Because I think the essence of this show is for us to talk to one another. And see, this whole land we are not taking this and that, collect, not collect. The question is, have you been able to collect the capital city of Delta State from Asaba? Told you, where is the capital of Delta State? It's in Asaba. It's supposed to be in Warri. Is that not your concern? Are you not thinking along that line? The resources of your state, of this Warri area, is what they're using to build Asaba now. Look at Asaba before, look at Asaba today. Is that not your concern? Is your problem actually the Urhobo man or Mr. Onome? Is your problem really this Toju? Don't you think our capital that is now in Asaba to be? Listen, Nigeria is every month people go to Abuja to collect money. The money is coming from our area. Is that not supposed to be our concern? I said it again and again, and I said it again and again. Only Ibori and Anemecha have suffered as former governor. And I want to hold them. Why I blame them? I know these two people were fighting for resource control. Obasanjo just said he dealt with Ibori. He was prepared to deal with the boy. The money you have in your land is what Nigeria is sharing daily. You're fighting yourself. I cannot be part of that. Maybe it's time for the Olu of Warri, the people in Warri, to sit down and talk about how the oil they own will benefit the people. If your oil is being spent in Asaba, oil money is spent in Asaba, spent in Abuja, and they are here fighting one another, you guys should be ashamed of yourself. Because the capital of your city will determine where the money is spent. How many people now own houses in Asaba? Asaba of dry land yesterday. Asaba is in Anambra State. It's not in Delta State. The reason I know, when you there, you see on the chart. Is that your state? You're fighting now. Well, you see, the issue of superiority, I don't want to use some of the language here, because if the language is too bad, I won't be able to share it. But if it's something I can understand, I will. If it is a little bit civil, I will raise the point on the show so that the world can listen to you. And I want all of us to be able. The next show, I'm gonna allow the phone to ring. The reason I didn't allow the phone to ring today, I don't want people calling insulting Ijaw, but they can insult me. That's a problem. But I don't want people to insult my guests. The reason being, I brought them here to talk, and I'm going to question them hard. Well, and you should throw them questions that you don't know, because these guys are really going to educate us. Ijaw has spoken to us today on issues that I think I have learned a lot. And my question is, that was the question I'm going to ask. I asked him what's the way forward. He has suggested some way forward. And he advised Itsekiri. He has not even advised the Urhobo man. Because that was what I was going to ask him. You've carefully advised Itsekiri. What's your advice to the Urhobo man? What's your advice to the Ijaw man? We're going to have Ijaw again. This time in a proper studio where we have more confidence where you see him. He's a learned man that you have seen. He's somebody with a very sound legal background and he's a doctor. So he's somebody that, by all means, you should listen to. That being said, we're going to call this show. We're going to put an end to it today. We're going to put an end to it. Let's listen to Toju. Say land is important to the social, political, and economic survival of a people, and so therefore people should not take away the political privilege of landowners. Yeah, well, that's this man. But the question I ask you is: the land you said you have now, are you benefiting it? Is it the Urhobo man that is eating the money that is in the Itsekiri land? If they say the Warri self belong to Itsekiri, is it the Urhobo man that is benefiting it, or is the Asabana that is benefiting what is in Warri? Or is the federal government of Nigeria that is benefiting what is in Warri? What are we doing to ourselves? Who is benefiting? Who is eating? Who is enjoying the money? You see, when we are the more we keep fighting this, we can listen. I'm not confused or I'm not surprised. You know why I'm not surprised? If Palestinians and Israelis, the same brothers, so children of Abraham, are killing themselves constantly. At least they have a story they can trace to one father. The Bible taught us that. They're killing themselves every day. I'm not surprised. Otherwise, what can be wrong between the Urhobo man and the Itsekiri man? What are they really fighting for now? Give me one thing they are fighting for. How many Urhobos are married to Itsekiri? How many Ijaws are married to Itsekiri? How many Itsekiri are married to the Ijaws? Do you know how many? Do you guys know how many? In the name of fighting for land. Maybe I don't understand where the problem is coming from. I think the Olu should say something on this. And the king should say something. Do the kings and the Olu, do they even meet? Do they talk? Let's end this matter. Yeah. I don't understand you, man. Well, I told you, I understand your concern. I know you're trying to make some points on who should be local government chairman and this. Is it do you know how much that is coming from this area, Warri? Do you know how much? Where is the money? Do you know where the money is going? It goes to Abuja, from Abuja to Asaba. Are you seeing the money? Amen. And how many Itsekiri people are actually benefiting other than the few elites? The ordinary Itsekiri man is probably hungry as well. The way the ordinary Urhobo man is suffering. Told you, if I have you on the show, it will be very nice. I'm going to have you. I'm going to have Told you one time. I'm going to isolate Told you. Now that we say Warri, where is the boundary of Warri then? Or the Warri does not have boundary with Urhobo? They own the whole of Urhobo land. If there is a boundary, tell us where it is. Because from what they're saying, the airport in Warri, not Osubio, they say airport in Warri, Osubu Warri. So let us be careful. We don't need this. I'm sure we don't need this. Because to look for where the boundary is, it's going to be hard. Yes, you see. In fact, when you guys with this fight that is going on there, it's why the Urhobo people will never forgive Ibori. They are still not forgiving him because certain things, the history of the past never favored Urhobo man. God gave Urhobo man governor. You were the same man that gave the power to the Itsekiri because it's your brother, it's your next body. The Itsekiri are the closest person to us. Can you people stop? Itsekiri man, can you wake up? It was the body that gave you governor. Is it not true? Do you think Odua have the capability to win election? Can he? But we did. Where's the enmity? I want to stop the show, but when you say that, I begin to ask questions. Don't you think that the same Urhobo man that's going to be your brother tomorrow? Is it the Igbo man or the Yoruba man you are crying to? Stop. Stop. That's why we end the show today. Next time we're going to have Toju on the show. Toju, I'm going to send you a message and I'm going to try and get in touch with you. And it's nothing, no anger, no quarrel. And sometimes I think I'm taking side. It's just the fact before me that I'm reacting to. Because I don't agree with the British. They colonized us. They took everything belongs to us. I don't like the Nigerian state, the way they're treating us. But somebody is responsible, is giving the fertile ground for this to happen. We should be fighting for what belongs to us. Not fighting one another. The more we fight one another, the more the capital is being remaining in Asaba. The more our money is being pumped into Asaba. You should be ashamed of that. That should be the bone of contention, not the fight. What are you fighting? What are you fighting with In Warri there? What is there that you're fighting about? When the next morning your oil is being pumped out. Your oil is pumping out as we speak. Meanwhile in Zamfara, their gold is for them. Tell me, the Warri area supposed to be like Dubai. Look at you. Is that not supposed to be our concern? Is it how the Itsekiri going to be bigger than everybody? Or the Urhobo man going to oppress the Itsekiri? Or we're going to press the Ijaw. The Ijaws are not, they are even more gentle. To be fair, the Ijaws are more gentle. Are there no Ijaws in the area? Do they exist? The Ijaw have never produced governor. If they look at population, are you sure the Itsekiris are even more than the Ijaws there? We could take time so that tomorrow God will judge us well. Let's stop this thing. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's hope that the next meeting will be more calm. I'll be more ready. I'll be more prepared. And I know this issue is a very sensitive issue. I didn't want to over-announce it. But now that I've come with peace in Warri, it will stay. It will stay. A lot of people will insult me for doing this, but a lot of this history needs to be retold. And I will look for whoever, even the kings, you will come and talk. The kings will talk to us. Because it will be so nice to hear from you. Don't allow people to die. Don't allow this crisis to continue. I'm personally going to write a letter to the Olu of Warri. And I'll be telling him my mind on what I think he should do. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be here again next weekend. I can't do this every day. I'll be here over the weekend. Unless there's an emergency, I'll host 1 or 2 persons. But the show will be on Saturday, like this time, and Saturday and Sunday. But I will not be doing anyone tomorrow, where we'll be able to look at the crisis in the area. I'm more interested in talking to Toju. Toju, I will try and reach you behind, and but I want to share Toju's message here. One more message from Toju before I close the show. And the message is this. I go Akara school for inside Warri. A document can also be described as a piece of written or what is historical account or agreement, printed, or electronic matters that provides information or evidence or that serve as an official record in some instance backed by authority, the court or the government. That is what the Itsekiri people have in numbers as evidence in our claim as the aborigine and true owner of Warri and the true owners of Warri. It is what the Itsekiri people presented in all the Supreme Court judgment. Yes, maybe that is true. The question is, if as at that time when you were doing that, the British were writing, calling on you to rule over the area, and they were writing paper with you, does it make you the owner of everybody? Are we then your slaves? Are the Urhobo people then your slaves? Are there Urhobo people in the area? Are they your slaves? Or you were hosting them, so they bought the whole land from you? Oh, wow. Look, we'll take time, so that we will talk through to our children. I'm going to try and be careful now. Let me just keep quiet. I'm afraid to share some of the message because it's going to be so abusive. And I don't think that is why we want to have the show. That's not why I call on show. I call on the show so that we all can talk. And I've gotten too emotional in it. I will try to stay out of emotion, but I'm trying to answer questions as it comes. And like I asked them, I've been a little bit hard on Toju, because Toju is the one that is throwing bomb at the room here, which is fair enough. But the question is, I have to throw some at him. Toju, it is true that the Itsekiri might even have some fact. If it is true that the British were dealing with them, so you have more paper to show that the land is yours because the British were signing papers with you. The British don't know anything. They just come, they want to take oil and go. They want to take the small things and they go. Are you going to use those papers as the evidence that makes you the origin of the land? What makes you an aborigine of a land? How many festivals do you have? You see, we have gods in those days. What are these questions we ask? And I'm sure we don't want to go into that. I'm sure we want to write a new history, a better history for our children. The concern today, I told you, to be who, not who owns the land, but who controls the land. The land is not controlled by you. The Olu of Warri does not control the resources coming from Warri. Fact. It's controlled by the federal government of Nigeria. The money ain't in Asaba. Now, small money that they give now. Is that not supposed to be your concern? Is it the Urhobo man that's your problem now? Or the federal government that is making your money on a daily basis? Or the money that is being pumped in Asaba? I talk my own because of our ancestors. May God forgive us. That's why we're going to have the show today. We'll have another one. Quickly, next week. But let me run away because it's time for us to run away. The show is called Peace in Warri, and this is where we present both sides of the story. Don't go away. Stay with us as we come back with another beautiful episode. God bless you. Bye for now.
There are many sides to a story. Is there anything like good or bad? Do we have advantages or disadvantages? Is there a right or wrong? This is Crossfire on SRT.